Hey guys, Murph here for another iRacing setup video. This time in week 3 of first season of 2021, we have the late model from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Now, before we get underway, we'll give you a quick disclaimer. Results may vary depending on the number of things, including time spent in the sim each week, how long you have been sim racing, the gear you are using, and the overall talent or skill level you have. Understanding this is just a guide, and you will need to work on this yourself to get the most out of it. These setups are built for me, and because of this you may need to make adjustments yourself to get the car to be as fast as you want. You may need to tighten up, you may need to loosen it up. Everyone has their own driving style, and the setup may not be perfect when you first try it. These setups are built for the current season, and because of this, in future seasons they may not be as good as they are currently. The iRacing tyre model is a constantly evolving thing, and after a year or two these setups might not quite be in the window that they are now, and again in a season or two, if you are watching this, you may need to make a few adjustments to get it to work. I'm only human, and because of this, mistakes will happen. Sometimes I won't quite nail the setup, or there might just be faster setups out there. This is just part of the game. This is just part of racing. This is part of being a sim racer. Enough said, back to the video. Now for quali lap. In turns 1 and 2 you want to diamond the corner, starting off with maybe a car width and a half above the inside, and cut back right at the exit of the corner to get a good run onto the back straight. Now 3 and 4 is more of a traditional sweeping line, although you want to be right hard up against the curb. I just miss it there by a little bit, but still not too bad of a lap. Now, as far as the setup went, I just ran the standard setup, the race setup, with all the fuel dumped out of it. As simple as that. He seemed pretty good for a quali run.
Fourth, I'm first, and I didn't promote it.
Now, moving on to the race. With the race setup, it does tend to understeer a little bit. So just have to drive with that in mind, that you may need to back up the corner rather than drive it in deep, and make sure you get the car rotated before you get back on the power. I found with setting this car up, I could not find a happy balance between loose and tight. Couldn't find that neutral balance. So my general rule is I'll go slightly tight over slightly too loose. Tight means you're a bit slower, but you're safe. But if you're finding this a bit too tight for yourself, either raise the right rear spring, right rear or right height a click at a time until it's nice, or pull the weight back further at one click at a time until you find a good balance. Get a bit loose coming off the corner. Now that's also proof right there. In the first couple of laps, regardless of setup, the car's loose. There's no heat in the rear tyres, so you tend to have the car slide a lot. As far as race strategy goes, there's not a lot you can do to make an overtake unless you're willing to use the bumper. Personally, I try to avoid that. It's just not my driving style. So if you're not willing to shuffle people out of the way, you're just going to have to be patient and wait for them to make a mistake. Wait for them to drive into the corner too hard, or they give up and give you the position. Anyway, we'll move on to the setup. Now, as far as the setup goes, there's not a huge amount to talk about. Again, if you find the car's too loose, you want to raise the ride height at the rear slightly, the right rear, or stiffen the right rear spring, or pull the weight further back. And then if you're finding it's understeering, do the opposite and just do it one click at a time, because I find with this track the sweet spot is so tiny that you do 2 or 3 clicks and you're completely out of the game. You got no chance. Anyway, I hope you guys found that useful and helpful. Please hit me up in the comments if it has helped you out, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. I very much appreciate it when you do. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Ciao.